Hello everyone, it's me, Demise, and today I have Meme King ZxC,
Hey,
and I have Checkers, resident server monkey.
Yep, that's
He
about
says
accurate.
he says he's not a dev, but we all know. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the March 6th, 2016 trunk thing, yeah? So Checkers was again involved in writing this, and he gave us some sneak peeks, and then the second he gave us a sneak peek, Pleasing Fungus went and published it, so we didn't get any time advantage at all. We were going to discuss it beforehand, so we got some good points, but like 30 minutes after I got the sneak preview, he published it, so yeah, there was no real improvement. So we're going to do this on the fly. So let's start with, first of all, Beogh, and he's probably the one that is very relevant to to my channel, and the reason why is because
Is
I
he?
have a Beogh game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have one on right now. It's really fun. Go check it out. Self plug. Um,
I've never actually played a game with him.
Go watch. It's actually really fun. I play as either
Okay.
Hitler or the Pokemon Master. One of the two. Either
Nice.
way, the only thing I know is that orcs die to poison gas a lot quicker than you think. Very quick. Anyway, Beogh no longer gives piety for sacrificing dead orcs' bodies. That's mostly I guess, killing all the overhangs of the old piety system where you preyed on dudes' bodies to get piety. This is like probably the last one other than Fedass, I believe, right?
No,
That
I think
sounds
it's
good.
all been removed except for Fedass.
Yes,
No,
that's what I just said. I hate you.
Mhm.
Nah, just kidding. Okay. Instead, they can be brought back from the dead with a new 6-star ability, Resurrection. I've actually used this on the channel, so you can check it out. Hostile orcs will be converted by the experience. Saint Roka may be tough to persuade on your side, but he's considerably less so once he's dead. So what you can do is you can kill the orcs that don't follow you, then resurrect them, and they become on your side. Uh, okay, so I've actually used this ability, and it's not as amazing as you think it is for keeping your own dudes alive. Reason is because your own dudes tend to either like you're in a situation where you need them back and then they die anyway because the thing that's they died to is still on the screen. And also, when they die, they don't always drop the corpse, which makes it really inconsistent. Like Saint Roka, you may kill him, but you're not going to get a corpse off him. And if you do get a corpse on him, then it will cost you a big piety hit to bring him back. And there's no guarantee he'll come back the next time. So realistically, it's not really a second chance, it's more of a gamble to see whether you can get a second chance. What do you guys think?
Well, it's a 50% chance to get the corpse drop. So
Look, I think we're missing the big issue here, and that is it Beogh or is it Beogh? Because
Beogh.
I've already said in my mind Beogh.
No, it's Beogh.
I in my mind, I always thought it was Beogh, but I've never tried to say it. So
No, I said it, I've said it, I've made it canon. Piss off, alright? I'm like the only one who's done a
Nice
Beogh
canon.
run that said it out loud, so I'm the one who dictates what it's called now. Done. Easy. Anyway, so this really doesn't. The thing about this point is it doesn't actually, I guess, address kind of the issues with Beogh in the first place. And I mention this again in my playthrough a lot because I talk a lot about Beogh. The main issue is that it's so impossibly hard to correctly control your allies. For example, I run a strategy where I have a bunch of a small number of strong orcs that I level up one or two at a time, and it's almost impossible for me to keep these guys alive. Sorry, to keep them all clustered together. Usually, if I recall my dudes, all of them come together, and when I try to tell them to piss off, all of them leave, and it's really hard to manage who you want to stay with you and who you don't. There needs to be some system to bring them back. Like that's the only Beogh is really outdated in that sense. Even Ured is slightly better because you do want to play with a horde, but Beogh's whole shtick is that unlike Ured, your summons are not, I guess, perishable. They're not expendable. You really can just throw wave after wave of undead at your enemies with Ured, but Beogh, you're really trying to train up a couple of elites, and you're trying to make as many elites as you can, basically. And really, the whole ally system does not work with that. It is really tough. You guys think?
Yeah,
Well,
look, I think I agree, and I think the dev team, which I'm not a part of, also agrees, because
Yeah,
we're
sure.
seeing the new god in the combo god branch coming out, which is looking at you controlling a single ally. It's almost controlling a pack of allies is almost an unsolvable problem with Crawl's current design.
Well, if there was a single, like, if there was a follow me button that's a single tile, that would be really helpful, I think. Like, tell everyone to wait, and then say, I guess, T Shift F, and then it would open up a little smite target. You could pick and choose who was in your team, basically. I think something like that would really be needed, because as it stands right now, I'm abusing the crap out of stairs to separate my army. I tell everyone to wait or retreat over to a corner, wait until only a couple of guys are near me, and then tell them to follow me and quickly go downstairs. That's really frustrating, and it takes a long time. So yeah, that's my suggestion. Feel free to suggest it to the crawl devs, and then say it was your idea. Because as long as it gets done, I'm all good. What do you think, Z?
well, your suggestion sounds very micromanagement heavy, but so is the current situation.
The problem is Beogh is micromanagement. Like you
That's
have
why I
to
haven't played
level
him
up
yet.
all your dudes. Huh?
That's why I haven't played him yet. Yeah, so I think, like has been said, um, the issue is with having a lot of allies rather than just a couple, and I'm not sure how you can solve that without just somehow limiting your pack of orcs to a small number. Somehow, I think that would be, if that could be done somehow.
Well,
Um,
you can like kind of do it in game by not dipping into orcish mines and only keeping up like a tiny number of dudes. Like for example, in my current run, I only have two or three orc warlords, and the rest, and then I have like 4 orc warriors, and that's it. Sorry, orc knights. I don't have any orc sorcerers because they all died. To like the random splashback that occurs when you recall and they die to AoE. It's just it's a frustrating mechanic. It's just yeah, it's bad. Anyway, do you want to move on, or do you have anything else to say?
well, I think we can move on. The next
Good.
change is also relevant.
Ah, yes. Also, orcs will no longer drop items that you've gifted them, even if they preferred whatever weapons/armor they had before. That's a good change. I have in one of my videos, I think I have a slightly earlier version than the most up-to-date trunk. I gifted a orc a polearm. He dropped my polearm, and then he picked up his goddamn mace, and I was like, "Ugh, kidding me?" And I couldn't gift him again. That was really frustrating. But yeah, that's a good change overall. Alright, so monster changes. New monster, Dart Slug, a slow D1 monster with a ranged attack. It probably won't kill you, but it'll be very funny if it does. So, Zed, you had a problem with this one, I guess?
Um, yeah, well, it's a ranged enemy, so it's a lot more dangerous than melee enemies. And I'm also a bit opposed to tweaks to the early dungeon that potentially make it more dangerous. I think it should be going in the other direction, personally.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't actually seen it in play, so I don't have a good handle on just how strong this dart slug is. I think it is pretty weak.
Yeah, it's pretty weak, but I haven't actually seen it hit me before, essentially. But I have been playing Minotaurs, so I don't know. Checkers? You
What
go.
kind of range does it have?
It
Uh,
has full loss range.
Oh
really?
wow.
Wow, that's insane. But does it have a cooldown in the darts, or does it just keep shooting darts at you?
It doesn't have a cooldown. It basically has a percentage chance to fire the dart every turn, which is, I think, about 20%.
Oh, okay, that's not
Well,
horrible.
So you
that
could
sounds
get
like something that can be
unlucky.
changed.
Well, the only
Yeah.
problem is, like, against a Feeler or something, or a Spriggan, it could potentially just one-shot you from LOS. If it hits max at LOS, which is kind of scary. You actually
Yeah.
can't play around that, right?
And yeah, the monster's slow, so that's a disadvantage of the monster. But in D1, you can potentially get trapped at the very start, just as you exit the vault.
Well, I'm
So
thinking of auto-explore. Like, imagine you auto-explore with 8 HP, and it hits you for max damage through your robes or through your nothing with a
yeah,
Feeler. It
yeah,
could
there's
kill you,
that
right?
as well.
That is potential. I have
Yeah,
actually been
yeah.
one-shot from full health before.
Even if you're not auto-exploring, the same thing can happen with manual exploring. So
Yeah, pretty much.
I just think the damage is too much, and it's a bit too random. Like if it could have a cooldown on the attack, I think that would probably be a bit better.
Well, it's
But in smaller range.
Yeah, I think the smaller range might be the only important part. Everything else is fine. Because the thing is, it's ultimately not that strong an enemy, it's just that it's an enemy that's capable of potentially killing you in 2 hits, which is an issue. Right?
Yeah, how about
Yeah.
like 2d3 instead of 2d4 damage?
But then
and
it's going to be underwhelming
half the range.
otherwise. 2d3 is... If you went like maybe... no, you can't actually do that, can you? You can't increase the dice without increasing the damage by a lot.
Well, you could do like...
You could do 3d2, right?
I guess, but all that means is that the damage is more consistent.
Yeah.
And a higher minimum damage of 3 versus 2.
But it makes it less swingy, which is more predictable. And if you're gonna drop its hit points down by 2 entire things, you might as well make it more consistent. 3d2 is a lot
the
better
range,
than 2d3.
you mean?
Well, yeah, if you dropped its range and its damage, because you go from 2d4 to 2d. Yeah, for those of you guys that aren't aware, we're talking about dice rolls. So 2 dice rolls of a 4-sided die, essentially, is what it does right now. So between 2 and 8 damage. And ZxC is proposing it to be 2 rolls of a 3-sided die, and I'm proposing
Or
it to be
3d2.
Yeah, I'm proposing 3 rolls of a coin, basically. 3 coin flips. Yeah.
Yeah, that also sounds okay to me.
Anyway.
But I haven't seen it in action, so yeah, I mean that's an important qualifier.
I have. It's not very impressive, but I haven't played a field against it, so I don't know. What do you think,
Okay.
Checkers?
Yeah, look, against anything with AC, I think it's reasonably underwhelming, and it's disproportionately dangerous to a small number of species, which is really Feelid and Octopode and similar things like that.
Which is kind of an issue, really. Like, I don't understand that concept between, like, about just having certain things that just kill you outright, and other things that just, like, completely useless against. Like again, my favorite example nowadays is shock wasps. Oh, don't have Aralek? Well, they're gonna kill you in 3 hits. Oh, you have Aralek? Now they're completely useless. They are actually they are basically regular wasps that do occasionally nothing to you because they shoot lightning and does nothing. But instead, if you don't have Aralek, they just kill you, they kill your orc army, they kill like everyone you ever knew, and they are faster and they teleport. It's just like
Sounds like a recent experience.
what a skill-based experience that was. Oof, I was so skilled. It cost me 2 blink scrolls to get out of that. 2 for nothing. Like I just because like these guys that are faster than me, I made the sin of seeing them and they saw me. It was terrifying. I didn't know what to do, so I just blinked away. What skill was required? Like I don't like those kind of enemies that are just so swingy. I prefer enemies to be more consistent. At least with hydras, for example. I know they're a threat. I can deal with that threat. They have high threat, and it's consistent threat. And I know that, so I deal with it appropriately. These guys are
I agree.
inordinately... They're fast. Like, it's the same with Iron Giants as well. They're faster, they chunk you, they have no basic weaknesses, like, other than have the resistance, or in the Iron Giant's case, just die. Iron Giant is just be the hell stronger than that guy, otherwise you're absolutely screwed. You can't do anything about it. Like... I would love to see someone try to just like fight an Iron Giant and get 2-shot and then complain about it because it's seriously a thing. If they weren't so goddamn rare, there'd be so many people complaining about it.
Yeah, I'm quite against very rare things that can randomly kill you.
Oh, well then you don't like Ancient Liches.
I think they belong. They don't belong in the game.
Ancient Liches are alright though. I think that they deserve a place in the game just because they're so interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing against them.
Because they've got like a mixture of like intermediate threats and like massive threats.
No, but okay, well, if we're going to talk about ancient liches, what I don't like is how sometimes they have paralyze, and if they have paralyze, you're dead if you don't have MR or status.
Easy solution: remove paralyze.
Yeah,
replace
of course.
Replace paralyze with confuse. There you go, done. Like I don't understand the willingness for devs to cut everything but then keep certain things. Even though they know, like they've explicitly stated they hate paralyze. They're just like, paralyze, petrify are the worst two things in the game. Keep them out. And then they're just like, nah, we'll
Who
keep it in.
said that? Who
Wait.
has said that though?
I think most devs like petrify and don't really
Petrify
dislike
so.
paralyze.
Hang on. Am I thinking of the wrong people?
Okay, well, I like paralyze. I like petrify, but I don't like paralyze
Well,
because
yes, petrify has a
there's-
answer.
it
but-
doesn't. It gives you a chance to react, and there's a lot of different ways to react. You can teleport. You can use cancellation, which is a rare commodity. There sometimes it's completely okay because the enemy is very far away, and there's nothing else dangerous in sight. It gives you a bit of bonus AC, so you can take hits from a killer bee or whatever.
It does cut your EV down to 0, right? Or does it cut your shield down to 0?
It actually
Probably both.
has a flat damage reduction on all incoming damage.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Well, see, the AC and the damage reduction could probably go, and then replace paralyze with petrify. But I mean, we're so far off topic right now.
That's alright. This is the podcast video, guys. Don't worry, it's all good.
Okay.
Alright, let's return back then. New monster, Howler Monkey, an early D monster that's fairly weak, makes a lot of noise. On later levels, they spawn in packs. Now, this is an enemy I can get behind because it seems like this is the enemy that the Vault Warden should have been. Honestly, sorry, the Vault Sentinel.
I like Vault Wardens.
Vault Sentinel. Vault Warden's the red one.
Oh,
I'm talking about the blue guys. These guys make noise. It is very obvious that noise draws enemies to you. Once you kill them, they stop making noise. If you run away from them, they don't keep making noise on you. It's so much like it's considerably easier to kill them rather than having a blue guy mark you, die, and then have you for the next 100 turns be marked. Because that's just annoying, at least for me.
Or more likely, you just go to the nearest staircase, go up the floor, and wait it out.
Well, that's not very good either. That still costs you 100
good.
something turns. But look,
I don't care about the turn cost, but just the tedium of just doing that. I mean, sometimes you're far away from the stairs, so you can't do that, and then it gets a bit interesting. But if you're close to the stairs, you just go up. Well, no,
frustration.
It can result in interesting situations sometimes.
Like, honestly, just give Vault Sentinel the circle ally. I think that would be better. Like, just give him the old Naga Guardian Serpent one, because that
I would actually be more scared of that than.
Yeah, it's more scary, but you can at least get out of it without having to pop cancellation or go upstairs. You know what I mean? That's like considerably less.
It is one I'd like to see in more areas of the game.
The only problem is if you chuck it in depth, it's way too strong. Like, depth is not a place that you want to have that kind of thing. Vaults, yes, kind of, but not really. Like, it's not as bad in vaults, but somewhere like depths. Ooh. Like, imagine walking through the dungeon and then suddenly 8 caustic strikes. Like, I would piss my pants and then just quit the character. I'd be so spooked. I'd never play again. But yeah, anyway, Howler Monkeys, very good at, like, pretty interesting addition to the game. They make loud noise, and to I guess a new player, it makes kind of a lot of sense. Howling monkey noise. It's an interesting decision, like an interesting situation that turns up because it's basically like an alarm trap, but it's only one time, or it's as long as the guy is alive, and that's a really good step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's like summoners, how they're only a threat while they're alive. If you kill the summoner, then their summons just disappear immediately.
Yeah. Okay, new monster, Rime Drake, replacing Fire Drakes. Very similar, but instead of fire, they breathe Flash Freeze, a single target cold damage spells that slows victims' movements for a few turns after they're hit. So in terms of like impact on the game, I think all this does is it slightly favors cold resistance over fire now, I think, in the early game. Previously, you were generally afraid of, I guess, early fire drakes and lindworms and some of the bosses that have fire, like I think, let's see, Harold, and other such stuff. But friggin' hell, these Rhyme Drakes actually really suck. They hit you and then you're slowed. It's just really, it's brutal. It's way worse than the Fire Drakes. It's kind of annoying actually. Like this is a
Fire
direct
Drakes were
upgrade.
already some of the strongest enemies in Lair, being ranged.
They have spike damage, which is an issue. It's manageable spike damage, but it's spike damage nonetheless. And this time, it's spike damage squared. So it's just spike damage, and then you're slowed, and then spike damage, which is much worse than previous. So what you probably, if you have an armor, consider using ice armor over fire armor if you have the opportunity. Mostly because in Lair, not much has fire, but now Rhyme Drakes have ice, and ice is pretty damn painful. Like I said, I'm not a fan of replacing an enemy or introducing an enemy that's just straight up better than its previous counterpart. It doesn't really mix with my concept of how the game balance should be. Because you're just making the game harder, but with no real, like, compensation, I guess.
Maybe
At least
it should just be harder though. I mean, Lair's often pretty easy with many characters.
But the impact of the new players to the new players in the game is significant. You got to understand that, like I've said this like a lot of times, I think, but ultimately this game is not only played by us, the people who win quite a couple of games, who can win quite easily. It's also played by people who are new. It's played by people who haven't won. It's played by checkers, for example.
Thank you.
Sick burn. But it's played by people who are like ultimately still discovering the game and still like trying to, I guess, win and making these more difficult enemies, specifically ones that are very spiky, the ones that do two things at once and you can't really avoid both things. It's just I don't know, like it meshes poorly with the way that I feel the game should be.
Well, if it's too strong, then perhaps we can, people will give feedback, and maybe it can be tweaked.
But if it gets like, yes, it's interesting. Like the honestly, I think torpor snails are really cool. That's like the design
Yeah, I like.
like.
Yeah,
They don't have the burst damage, but once they're in your sight, they are a threat. Whereas Rhyme Drakes are a threat the second they come on the screen and just hit you with it. Occasionally they will get initiative and you will just get hit. And once you're hit, you're like, well, I'm now 30 HP down and I'm in the same position as if I was with a torpor snail. But killing the Rhyme Drake doesn't really do much because I'm still slow. Though I guess does Flash? What's the difference in What's the difference between Flash Freeze and slow? Is there one?
The slow is the same, but it doesn't last as long.
So Flash Freeze lasts longer.
Actually, I think the slow is also only for movement rather than attacks as well.
No. Slow stops attack speed as well. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90%.
Flash freeze applies an effect called freeze rather than an effect called slow.
Does
and
it
I think
change
the
it?
freeze effect only slows your movement. I'd have to
okay.
Okay, well we'll have to mesh that out later, but
If that's
like,
the case, then it's not quite as bad as you're making it sound. Demise.
well, the couple of times I fought Rhyme Drakes without any cold resist, they were like 30 damage you're slowed, 30 damage you're slowed, 20 damage you're slowed. Thank God I had teleport. Like,
Well,
good
everyone
luck.
has teleport by then usually.
Not always, and also occasionally you're not playing a Minotaur, so like I know it's crazy, but sometimes people don't play Minotaur, like me. I only play Minotaur, guys. 10 out of 10.
Must
Okay.
be fun.
Anyway, let's keep moving on. So Rhyme Drakes, not really a fan, but Howler Monkeys, 10 out of 10. Flash Freeze can sometimes miss, although if Antaeus is casting it probably won't. That has very little relevance, I think. It just means that the Rhyme Drake can miss, right? I don't think anyone else can cast Flash Freeze other than Panlords, Antaeus, and Rhyme Drakes. So it's not really that relevant. Pandemonium Lord generation has been considerably reworked, hopefully resulting in more distinctive foes. So, Checkers, I'm aware that you were a big part of this.
Yeah, this was pretty much my baby, so I'm happy to talk for a really long time about
Kill it.
Basically, I felt Pandemonium Lords were quite They're procedurally generated at the moment, so they have random attributes and random spells, but they were pretty much just randomly slapped onto a base Pandemonium Lord model.
The hippo
Very
guy.
interestingly, well, a whole variety of appearances. But I've changed it so that Panlords are mostly going to favor AC or EV now. So you'll occasionally find a Panlord with like 50 AC but 0 EV,
Damn.
or one vice versa.
Right.
Yeah, which would be an absolute tank if you ran into one of those.
Yeah.
As well as that, they pick their spells a little bit sparser now. Previously, you'd find something with Shadow Creatures and Shatter, which wasn't a fantastic combination.
Mhm.
So now you'll typically find things with perhaps Dragon's Call, but only smite targeted Hellfire attacks, for example.
Okay, so they've been basically made stronger.
Yep, this is a definite buff all around. I wouldn't consider it a massive buff, but they definitely have more access to level 9 spells and less access to lower level spells.
Well, I would express concern over the concept of the orb run being more difficult, but like because new players they would often die to Panlords, and I've seen it happen. But
Mm.
the thing is, like I have ascended a couple of times in the new trunk, and it's not awful, but like I don't. It's hard to notice the difference. It's more like just the Panlords are usually on the higher. It's like pretending the Panlords are unchanged, but they're now on the higher end more often, basically, and they're more close to the middle rather than sitting at the lower end. Sometimes the panel's just absolute garbage. They do like nothing. Like they have
Yeah,
summon
that's what I was aiming
butterflies.
for. Some of them, previously you could get a Panlord with summon butterflies and throw flame. Summon
Oh,
butterflies is still there because it's hilarious, but
and
there's no more
sometimes you
throw
have
flame.
final boss panlord. Oh,
Hmm.
Hellfire, summon executioner. What else do we
Torment.
have? Torment.
Hopefully
Haste
it's a bit
himself.
more common now.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You're welcome.
Kill your baby. No one wants it. Okay, moving on. Nah, you don't even get a chance to defend your baby. Get out of here.
Hmm.
Alright, nymphs will now piss themselves even more than usual, including shops and stairs. However, their bladder control is weak, so they're much more fragile. So, what that means is this quote-unquote secret tech meme, where you would stand on stairs to avoid nymphs from flooding your tile, is now no longer uh, working. So how does flooding work? Can you still go upstairs that are flooded?
No, it's essentially like a vault door protector people.
For
That really
audience.
sucks. That actually really sucks.
Only if you're standing on the stairs,
Well,
Yeah,
no,
or nearby.
if
which
you're
is
even
the only time
adjacent
it's
to the
relevant,
stairs,
actually.
it still kind of messes you up, which kind of sucks. Oh, okay, that's fine, I guess. Nymphs, but the thing is, nymphs are so frustrating to fight. Why would you make them more frustrating? Why? Why does everyone make things more annoying?
Well,
What?
look, I really like this change purely because it's combating stair dancing, which I
Yeah, I
think
like it
may
too.
be a mechanic people use a lot, but is a pretty terrible mechanic which should
Fair,
be
like,
removed.
fair enough, but the thing is, Shoals is a frustrating branch. It is a
It is.
frustrating branch. It is an exercise in frustration. Water, deep water. Everyone's ranged, everyone has hexes, and everyone can make more water. Like, this is the worst combination in the game. It's like everything is gonna hit you from range. Half the things have distortion because, like, Lameo, everyone's got distortion tridents. I've not gone into Shoals before and had no one have a distortion trident. It's just everyone has one. It's just like it's insane. It's crazy. Like, why do we Shoals, guys? Shoals. What?
Yeah, I know the game's hard. It's meant to be hard.
No, it isn't. Game's meant to be easy.
It's a roguelike. It's meant to be very hard.
Yeah, it is still very. Snake is still pretty hard. Shoals is still
Yeah,
pretty. Sorry,
I
Swamp
think
is still
Snake
pretty
is the
hard.
worst.
Thanks to those Lameo spike damage enemies that they added. Spider's pretty hard thanks to the smite targeted corrosion. But Shoals is not. Shoals is both hard and frustrating. Almost as much like
Some
Snake
people
is.
say that about Swamp.
Yeah, Swamp's kind of frustrating too, depending on what kind of character you are. I guess
Yeah, if you're a merfolk or not.
no, if you're a stabber, both Swamp and Shoals are piss easy. If you're a heavy melee, gets kind of tough.
Statistically speaking, Swamp is significantly easier than the other three branches.
Yeah, I would say so. Snake, Snake, you tend to get blown up by things that. Sorry, Spider, you tend to get blown up by things you're not expecting. Snake is the most all-round difficult, but at the same time, it's the most straightforward, I guess. The only thing you need to worry about is teleport, and occasionally constrict. Oh wait, no, they added Lemayo's spike damage again. Oh yeah, electric
The
snakes,
shock
never mind.
serpents as well,
Uh,
and also
see what I mean? Every
shock
branch has
shivers.
Lemayo spike damage. Like, what's the point? Why do we need that? Why do we need enemies that specifically are there to kill you if you don't have the right resist? Hell, could we just have a ring of insulation? Like, legitimately an RLX ring. Can we just have that? If we had that, then this game would be so much better, because Lemayo spike damage is less
I don't
Lemayo
mind
spike
the
damage.
idea.
Just
We've
play
got every other
gargoyles,
resist.
bro.
Come again?
Just play gargoyles.
Yeah, but I'm not going to play Gargoyle every single game of my life. I can't do that. I can play Minotaur every game, but I can't play Gargoyle. Because they're not even...
We already have a resist. We already have a ring for every resist, so I don't see why we shouldn't have an RLX ring.
I mean, we even have RN rings, and no one uses those. Those are like the worst rings in the game, other than negative rings. Like,
Well, I swapped them on for like Josephine and
yeah,
Nergal.
but you have
That's about
problems,
it.
so it's alright. Like, we understand your
Yeah.
problems. Like,
So
but
the
I
rationale,
love swapping items.
I'm not really across the rationale for RLX, but as far as I understand it, it's literally meant to be a rare resist, and also a rare damage type, which is why.
rare damage type. Oh wait, there's like one in every single branch. Oh
Well, that's it.
yeah.
There's one enemy only.
A shock serpent. What do you call them?
There is a lot of ways
Shock
to deal
wasp.
with shock serpents and wasps.
Oh, actually, they just buffed shock serpents. Spoiler. Let's move on. Shock serpent's discharge now only strikes whatever hit it, rather than all enemies, but not any of the serpent's allies in a wide area. That's buff. The more Lemayo spike damage.
This is not a buff demise, I don't think.
Huh?
This is
No, because now you can't
shock
use it as a little
serpents.
bomb.
No. Previously, shock serpents looked as though they exploded and hit everything in the area, but they only hit things they wanted to hit.
No,
So
they
if-
hit enemies too. I remember. I know because I use it. I'm a smart boy. I remember. What you do is you get a polearm and you jab at them from range, and then they explode and they do like 2 damage to every one of the snakes around. It's a pretty good strategy. Until you realize it's a terrible strategy. But you don't really have a choice because it's a Lemayo shock damage. Like, electricity damage is just ridiculous. And this is just another buff to another electric damage, and it's the only line, it's like the main line of enemies that I disagree with is basically every single one they've added except for like the new ones that are most recent. Like, and even then I still have problems with them. Like, it's not a whining thread, it's just the thing that I'm worried about players just being like uninteractively Lemayo'd. Like, I keep saying Lemayo'd as a way of implying that you're dying. Alright, so
It's very bad.
like, they're just killing you in 1 or 2 hits, and you're just like, wow, I really had an opportunity to, I guess, teleport. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. They killed me before I could teleport. I guess I'll heal wound spam.
You should have
like-
quaffed resistance.
Oh, yeah, because you get more than 2 of those a game. Oh, yeah. Because there's not like 15 shock serpents and shock wasps littered through the dungeon that you have to
Well, electricity
individually...
is the only reason I use it. That and orbs of fire.
Yes, me too. But the thing is, in the last 3, like, I have kind of a sample size now. In the last 3 or 4 games, I've only had like 1 to 2 resistance potions. I feel like they're really
They're
rare.
pretty rare.
Yeah, I don't know why they're so rare. They should be a lot less rare, I think. Just to counter these goddamn shock serpents. Something like that. Anyway. Deep Elf High Priests and Sorcerers no longer cast Summon Demon. Is that good? Which one's the
well,
Sorcerer?
It means they don't cast Summon Demon, but they're probably more likely to cast other spells.
High Priests are the ones that smite you, and Sorcerers are the ones that... which ones are they? Are they the green ones? Wait, no, that's the Annihilators.
The red and orange ones that banish you.
Oh, that really sucks. Now they banish.
They're gonna banish you more often, yeah.
Or crowed. Well, fair enough, but Summon Demon, they were occasional. Like, I felt like the purple-orange ones were the worst ones, other than the deep
Yeah,
purple.
those are the demonologists.
Yeah, the Demonologists and the Sorcerers are the 2 worst ones, because they can
Yes.
both summon demons, and they can both abyss you. Now only one of them
Yeah.
can abyss you. Summon demons, which is kind
There
of
were-
less bad.
Actually, so where this cast chance for Summon Demon went was to increase the chance of Malign Offering and Smiting on Hell Priests,
Yeah.
and to Corrosive Bolt on Sorcerers.
Good.
So Banishment
Corrosive
is
Bolt is fine.
unchanged.
Good. Excellent. 10 out of 10. Because I hate having those tormentors on the screen. I hate them. It sends me into a fit of panic every time
No,
I
but
see
the
it.
sorcerers and the high priests couldn't summon fiends in the first place. It was just demonologists
Oh, I
that
know.
could
Yeah,
do
they
that.
could summon, but they could summon
These are the
executioners,
weaker
right?
demons. Like,
They can
these,
summon 3s only from memory.
These
sure?
are like the mutators and so on, like the ZxC or however you say them.
I very distinctly remember something summoning good, like pretty good stuff.
Demonologists
I feel like it's not demon. Am I mistaken? Maybe.
It is just demonologists, because demonologists are the only ones that I actually fear, because they're the ones that can summon fiends that can torment you and hellfire you.
Oh yeah. Wait. Then isn't it? I thought an executioner was a 1. It
I
is,
don't care
right?
so much about executioners, but yeah, they are.
If they're hasted, it's pretty scary. Like hasted
They are a
executioner
1,
is.
so they're only summoned by demonologists as well.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it's like summon greater demon or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, right, the one that we have. Yeah, the one that the players can cast. Okay.
Something like that.
New command. Wow, question mark hashtag lets you browse your character dump in game. That's freaking amazing. That's a really, really good tool. And I didn't know
Yeah,
that
it's
was a
good.
thing. That's really sick. I like that. That's a UI buff.
But you didn't know it was a thing because it was just added.
Yeah, I know, but I thought I read through this briefly earlier, but I didn't know it was in there. But that's really cool. I didn't know that. I'm
Yeah,
gonna use it.
this will make you two very happy, I suppose, because one of the key uses was for speedrunners to see how many actions you've taken.
What? No.
You can
So
open
turn
your
count speedruns.
Just press Shift D, bro. Shift D.
Oh, that's a weird old command though. No one knows about that.
What? What? No? Liar? What? You're gonna press 2 buttons. Sorry, 3 buttons. Like, that's awkward. Nah. Shift D's better. But no, shift hashtag will let me see my actions taken, I guess, which is pretty cool.
You can also see what enemies you've killed, so you can actually see if you actually killed that invis enemy.
That is going to
Invis
take
unique or
so
whatever.
long every time.
I know, but
I fear for your recording sessions because that's disgusting. That is absolutely. Did I go through it and then you search through 3,000 characters vanquished? Oh yeah, see that 14 invisible things is 15 now, so all good. And then you escape back and you're like, oh wait, I've been sitting here for an hour now. Oh, whoops. Because there's no
Yeah, that's
control F
something I would
probably.
do.
Okay, let's move on because we're actually having a lot of stuff. Quasar's Wrath can
Yeah.
now summon a range of elemental-themed creatures rather than just elementals of subtly varying HD. So, I guess it can summon like fire giants, ice giants, iron giants. If it summons iron giants, GG. I'm out. What else could it summon? Iron giants,
Iron dragons, shard strikes, fire dragons, storm dragons.
Wow, that's pretty brutal. Okay, don't ever get at a Quasar then. I guess if it's gonna summon shard strikes, please run away. Those things are
What
like
about-
caustic strikes on crack. It's crazy. Thank
What
God
if
they're only
you're low experience level and you abandon Quasar?
This is purely a buff to his wrath. So at the lowest, at level 1, for example, you'll still get elementals. You scale both the type of enemies and the number of enemies with XL.
It's just that his wrath is already one of the very strongest when you're a low level character.
Because you'll probably get 1 fire elemental and that will just wipe the floor with you.
Yeah.
Well, that just goes to show you don't ditch gods because it's not a good idea. Alright. Gozag no longer demands any service fee in sprint. Sprint. No one cares about sprint. You guys can read the sprint.
I don't play
Alright.
sprint.
You read it? Good. Alright. Covering a ziggurat in gold with Gozag no longer causes enemies to be completely paralyzed. This is in response to that one guy who did the Reddit post. I think it was Pig in a Bag.
Pig in a bag, yeah.
Yeah, he did like 120 something zigs. Because all he did was he used Demon Spawn's Night Stalker mutation to cut down the LOS range, and then he would basically just walk through the dungeon, walk through the zig floor, and because there's so much gold on the zig floors, everything around him would be paralyzed, or at least distracted, and he would just go around killing stuff. Did he stab
It's
or
not
did he
actually
kill?
about the. It's not actually about the gold on the floor. It's about the fact that once you start killing enemies, you would quickly hit a percentage chance to paralyze enemies that is just enormous, and you just unlock them as you go through in tornado.
Oh, he used tornado. Okay, I didn't know that. I wasn't really
Yeah.
paying. I didn't really read that much.
Tornado and shatter.
Okay, cool. That's great. Let's see. Mega Zigs, ziggurats entered after fully clearing previous Zigs, are now considerably nastier, and should give a bit more of a challenge to players and characters who are capable of fully clearing multiple Zigs. So that's probably, again, a buff to Zigs that no one's really going to pay attention to ultimately. There was one post earlier on Reddit where a guy was just sitting in a Mega Zig, and he had like 40 orbs of fire in his line of sight. Something crazy like that. I almost shit my pants. It was so terrifying.
Yeah, that was picking a bag from before.
And he had no freaking mana, and he had Staff of Wukard Mu. I was so scared for it. That was also picking the bag? Picking the bag?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, ziggurats no longer have all the same layout in a given game. Okay, that doesn't really have any relevance because it's just
It was a bug, I think. It was a bug because you only got like the diamond layout, I think.
Okay.
Recently. When
Okay,
there's
fair
supposed to be 3 layouts. And
Zigs
the
are not
diamond
really...
layout was the smallest.
Wait, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
it was the smallest layout. So
What about the one
again,
with the
it's
slimes?
sort of a buff.
That one's pretty small. Right?
I don't know.
I don't know. No one does Zigs. Like, come on. Don't do Zigs.
I've never actually completed a Zig.
I kind of have. I got down to D27, and then I won. I beat it, but I didn't kill everything in there. I just kind of left because I was like,
Still counts.
I'm on low enough health that I don't want to do it. Alright, anyway, the R-Mute artifact property now works with the same as mutation, 2/3 chance of preventing mutations down from 9 out of 10. That's stupid. The only hat
Alchemist hat nerf.
yeah, Alchemist hat nerf makes no real sense. No one cares. You've beaten R-Mute to death. Why do you keep nerfing it? Like this, you only have one item left. Just let it have its thing. That's dumb.
Well, for the longest time, the R-Mute was supposed to give a 90% chance to resist mutations, yet it was actually about 80% in the code, but no one noticed for a very long time. And it was just fixed like a few months ago.
Wow, what a useless fix. They removed it and then they nerfed the only vestige of it left. What a...
Yeah.
God, I hate R-Mute. I hate the fact that, like mutation doesn't make a difference, but it's just like the fact that they're removing so much stuff and then just putting things like harm, dismissal. Whoa, guys, step back. Design space got broadened. Damn, 10 out of 10. Yeah. Anyway, mass confusion no longer a player castable spell, so that sucks, I guess, for hexes. But realistically, you don't really use mass confuse. If you want to use a AOE hex, just use invisibility. It's basically the same thing. I don't know. What's the rationale behind removing mass confuse?
I honestly have no idea. I didn't look into the change at all.
0 out of 10. No research done. I know why.
So maybe it's just too similar to Discord and so on.
Fair enough.
And Discord's just in general better.
Oh, here we go. I can read out the patch notes if you'd like.
Yeah, right. You can do that.
Alistair's intoxication was recently adjusted and is hopefully a more interesting version with roughly the same effect. Mass Confusion remains as a monster spell since few monsters make use of it, and it's more powerful than Confuse.
So, Alistair's intoxication, that's basically Mass Confuse, but I don't really understand what the difference is. I've never used it because it's pretty much useless. Like,
it has the self-molus. I think it confuses you unless you have clarity.
Which is not in the game anymore.
Unless you're actually sorry. Yeah. Or you're using the katana thing. Anyway, that's just dumb, but alright, whatever. That makes no sense, really. It's just a random change, I guess. But it is out of the game now.
2 spells with the same effect, and they
get
remove
rid of Alistair's
because it's
intoxication,
redundant.
because intoxication is both a transmutation spell, which no one really uses, and it's also got a malice on it, which makes no damn sense.
Well,
and it's also
transmutations are loved by a lot of people. Not me though.
yeah. But the
I
thing
don't
is,
like-
if you're a stabber, you don't really need transmutations. Going into that for just Alistair's intoxication is
Well,
so unrealistic that it's
Is mass confusion only used by stabbers?
pretty much. I wouldn't have any other reason to go into hexes like that.
Like, I've never even gotten mass confusion on a stabber before.
But you've never gotten mass confusion, period. So there you
Well, that's true, yeah.
go. You can't. I knew I was like gonna call you out about it. I was like, yeah, 10 out of 10. All right.
I mean,
Pass walls
like
range.
what you said, Invis just takes care of everything.
Yeah, I know Invis is so good. It's the best spell. Actually, I must say the Enchanter spellbook. I am enjoying Dazzling Spray being there instead of Invis. Like I know Invis is strictly better than Dazzling Spray in like 90% of the cases, but I am enjoying Dazzling Spray. It actually hexes things you wouldn't expect it to hex, like Death Yaks, for example. You
It's,
don't really
it's
see.
a nice spell.
It's a good spell. 10 out of 10. No, 9 out of 10. 6 and 7. 8 and 8.5. There you go. Okay, great. All right, moving on. Pass walls range.
No,
Oh,
pass
thank
walls
God!
range.
It's the buff we all needed. Whew. Whew, thank God. Okay, guys, we can pack up now. We got it. Pass walls range is now fixed for a given spell power and displayed on the spell screen rather than being random per cast. 10 out of 10.
I like
My
that.
favorite spell is now slightly less inconsistent. Oh, I use pass wall over 6,000 times per game. Just kidding. No one uses
It's
that
a very
spell.
nice change.
Yeah,
Now
but no
there's
one,
no
Yeah.
no one
uncertainty.
uses that spell. It doesn't matter.
Well,
And
I
even
think
if you use
people
the spell,
will find it more useful now.
just like
Yeah,
they
I might
found
use it a bit
swiftness
more
more
now.
useful. Wink, wink. Anyway, needles of slowing have been removed. Wow, what the hell are needles of slowing? Oh yeah, they're that one thing that clogs up your inventory and you drop them, like at the moment's notice. No one uses
Yeah,
that
I'm
shit.
glad they're removed.
It doesn't even do damage. It's like the worst needle. It doesn't. Thank God they removed amulets. They moved needles of. Wait, did they remove needles of confusion? They did, right? Those are gone, right? I'm not crazy.
I don't know.
Can't remember.
Well, they still have needles of paralysis, right?
And Frenzy.
Yeah. Frenzy's still a thing? Whoa.
In Curer, it does the same thing as slow.
Oh well,
Anyway.
Caress's still the best one. So yeah. Completely unimportant.
Except
needle.
it only works on poison vulnerable, like
But it's still the best
non-poison
needle.
resistant
It's
enemies.
still the best needle because it does so much goddamn damage. And you
Yeah.
can use it on like, I don't know, draconians, and
You can
they
use it with no throwing.
can't breathe, and so they can't breathe on you. Spooky. Ooh.
Actually, was that changed, checkers?
Yeah, I actually removed that interaction.
I hate
about
you.
6
Get
months
out.
ago.
Get out of my chat. Why do you
I
keep
love
removing the
it.
things
It's
I love?
amazing.
All my
It
secret
was
text
considered
strats.
spoilery.
No, because it stops you from breathing. And draconians breathe. And you play as a draconian, and when you play as a draconian, when you breathe your goddamn breath weapon, you run out of breath. So it makes a lot of
You love to
intuitive
use the example of new
sense.
players.
Huh?
New players who don't. You love to use the example of new players.
New players
wouldn't
don't know what
know
career is. They don't know it's
Exactly.
a thing.
So they wouldn't know to use it to stop the draconian using their breath ability on you.
Fair enough, but
Hmm.
I guess. But the thing
I
is,
mean, I'm
you
actually
don't do it
against the
anyway.
change, but that's the reasoning behind it. I mean,
don't
I
know.
like keeping it in the game because it's just another interaction. I like some of the more interesting interactions. It adds a bit more depth to the game.
Same. I like it.
Boo.
Get out of here, checkers. Once again,
Maybe it will come
another
back
thing ruined
at
by
some
checkers.
point.
Mhm.
Ruined. Absolutely ruined. Now I can never use Carrera in the history of this whole game. Never again.
Happy
Alright.
now.
Monsters can no longer pick up items from stacks you've seen, even if you haven't seen the
Whoa,
specific
I think you missed an important one here.
No, that's the one that ZxC likes, so screw it. We're skipping it. Monsters can no longer
okay.
pick up items from stacks you've seen, even if you haven't seen the specific items that they're trying to pick up. Good. Yeah. 10 out of 10?
I would just call it a bug fix.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bug
it's
fix.
just
Okay,
Oh.
fine. Let's go back to stupid ZxC's thing. Alright, so back in the day, when I was looking at his game, he's like, hey guys, did you know this secret tech that if you shoot a dude that's sleeping with a blowgun, it never misses? Maybe it misses
It
now,
never
right?
misses because they have 0 EV. That's not
Oh,
relevant.
is this not what that is?
No.
But I swear to God, look, okay, the reason why this is a mistake, why I may have made this mistake, is because Checkers gave me the early version, and in the early version, the needle thing was up at the top, and also had something to do with not missing. I don't know where that went. Did you remove that?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You bastard! You tricked me. I got right tricked. There we go. All right, so once again, Checkers scumbag, Demise,
So all this
tragic
change
hero.
does is that you can't, like when you use Cure, you could stab a sleeping enemy and it would do extra damage, and the poison would last longer. Now that interaction is gone, so it's just like the enemy was awake and it landed.
If you
There's
shoot a
there's no
sleeping
stabbing.
dart, wait, if you shoot a sleeping needle at a sleeping target, does it go straight to sleep? Is that how that works? Because you stabbed it with 0 evade, right?
Previously, it may have woken up and shouted and then gone to sleep.
That is so stupid.
Who would do that?
Oh, duh! Nah, seeps.
Yeah, but who would fire a sleeping dart at an
Because
enemy
then
that's
you can
asleep?
paralyze it, and then even if you aren't stealthy as hell, you can still go up and stab it.
No,
Well,
a
questions
sleeping.
like this are why needle stabbing was removed.
Needle stabbing was removed? What?
Well, this is what it's referring to, more or less.
Okay, good.
Basically, like daggers did bonus damage to sleeping or unaware targets. Needles did too. And the mechanic's been removed. Only melee weapons can do bonus damage now.
Ah, poop. Okay. Maurice can now pick things up from the floor, even if you've seen it. Is he cheating? Question mark. Yes, Maurice is a prick, and now he's even more of a prick. So hopefully we get to kill him. He's not. The thing is, Maurice is not a threat. He's just an annoying piece of shit. He just sits around, teleports everywhere, steals all your garbage, and you have to go hunt him down. God damn it, that sucks. If he picks up distortion, I'm gonna be so sad. Tell you what. You know what they should do? They should make distortion on wields work on enemies too. Just to really piss off Sonya. Sonya,
Sonya
yeah.
comes into view. Sonya shouts. Sonya banishes herself.
Yeah, because like what that means is that she wouldn't switch from a blowgun to a stupid dagger all the time, and that means that she would blowgun you, and then she would switch to a dagger, and then keep daggering you, rather than switch, and then you run out of blowgun, and then she just switches back to the dagger. It's dumb. I don't like. Make her distort herself.
It's not a. I don't think it's a big deal.
Nah, it's the biggest deal. The 10 out of 10.
It would be funny though.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would be pretty funny. It would be cool. I don't know. But we get distorted. Why can't they? You know what I mean? Sonya didn't make a deal with Laguna, I think, right? She's Okawara, right?
Who knows?
Not sure.
Okay, it's no longer possible to evolve a permanently petrified plant to a permanently petrified Oklop. Cool bug fix, I guess. I never tried to do that, but I don't. Fetass sucks, so it's all good. Spectral shapeshifters can now once again turn into something other than spectral ghost crabs. I've never seen that happen, so that's cool. Vampires can no longer drink ghost blood. Spooky. That's too many spooks in one sentence. Ooh. Bribe demons can no longer escape hell. Dumb monsters can no longer shout. Dead monsters can no longer shout. So this is just some bug fixes.
This is the comic
thanks.
relief part of the bug changelog.
And thanks to Demise for helping to compile this post. Alright, so that about wraps up today's patch notes. So thank you guys for watching. And before we go, if you leave a goddamn dislike without telling me what you're trying to say, I'm not going to give a crap. Because the last one had 2 dislikes, but no one said anything. So I'm going to assume that you misclicked. Yeah? Alright, good. Thank you guys for watching.
Misclick.
And I will see you all next time. Bye!